Greetings. Welcome again. Another records unboxing coming at you now. This one is from the Discogs marketplace, and it's from a buyer I've not bought from before. He comes from Japan, and he goes under the name of something like madpierrot or Periot. I think it's like a name of a manga or anime character or something in Japan. um, and look, this one was, I will say, a little bit of a gamble. I mean, it always is pretty much on Discog, especially first time up with somebody you've never bought from before. But this one, this guy had some mixed reviews. And some of the reviews are quite consistent, the negative ones. There's some really great positive ones, and there's just some negative ones a bit consistent about, giving tracking numbers that actually, were not working or something. So, I'll be honest, he had some great prices. So I got a bit of a bundle here. I think I got about 9 or 10 in the end. Because while I'm in an some of the good other ones sold out, like happens. But I've been umming and ahhing for a while with this guy. Finally pulled the trigger. And lo and behold, look, he took over a week. There was no movement on the progress after I paid straight away. So I made the order, paid straight away. Sent him a message. Got back pretty quickly once I sent the message and said, here's the tracking number. And changed the status to shipped. Okay. So I've tried the tracking number, didn't work. Tried a bit later, didn't work. Tried the next day, didn't work. And I thought, here we go. Look, I had to wait I kept sort of checking over 4 days because I had to wait the 4 obligatory days before I could, make any other complaints. In the meantime, I messaged him straight away, said, hey, because I wasn't going to muck around. I said, hey, you sent me this tracking number, didn't work. Can you explain? As I said, he didn't get back to me. Went silent for 4 days. So I did. I hit the Discogs sort of no response thing. Soon as that happened, though, he got back to me, didn't he? And there was some feedback in the comments saying that. So he got back to me and said, it should be active in the next 12 hours. And I said back straight away, what do you mean? How do you know that? Normally, if there's a tracking number, it goes straight away, it works straight away. Well, the thing is, I think that was put fire underneath him, and he went, I think, and actually posted. I think he just got one of those pre-things, but didn't actually post it the first time. But anyway, once that happened, look, this came in a couple of days. So, there's the story. Let's crack on in now. I've got my knife ready. I haven't cut it open, but I just wanted to again show the packaging, which actually looks really rock solid. I tell you, I can even feel it feels like there's padding in there. I just took the postage thing off there. But yeah, you can see this. It's actually pretty damn rock solid. And don't know if you can tell by which postal means, transportation means, it was transported by at all. I don't know if there's any particular clues right there. But yeah, so this one came through Japan Post. So they're local postal service, not a outside courier service. And then it tracked to Australia Post quite well. Once it was actually posted for real, and was in the system. So that was no hassle. Now, what I'm going to do this time is I'm actually going to pause it before I try to cut this open, because you can see this is going to be hard to do one-handed. So I'm going to cut and I'll come back. Alrighty, so that cut open really easily because this tape, it's really good. It's paper based, so it sliced open really easy, but it actually seems quite strong. So let's crack on in. Hopefully there's not too spoiler there, but you can see, yeah, so there is, I can feel there's some, I thought it was bubble wrap underneath. So that's really well. Okay, I'm just going to do a flip and just lift up so there's no spoilers. It's like, let's pop open, bubble wrap. That's just again sealed with the same tape. It's really, it's really well packed. Nice and snug. So that's great. They've gone to the extra mile there to really wrap that up nicely. My great camera work here. Oh, there's a spoiler and a half. Alright, let's somehow do this. Alright, so, well, you had a little bit of a spoiler preview there. First up is Miles Davis Water Babies. Got a pretty good price. I'm trying to remember how much, but it was actually a decent price in the end. As you know, Miles Davis, well, most Miles Davis goes for a lot, and particularly the 60-second Great Quintet stuff, which this is, despite the cover. I think this was released in 1972 or 3 or something like that. This is a Japanese pressing. This is fine by me. It should sound really nice. I'm just going to see if it's got a year there, but I can't see one yet. But look, it was about 72, but it's actually stuff from the late 60s sessions. So yeah, Wayne Shorter, Herbie Hancock, and Ron Carter and Tony Williams on board. But yeah, it's also got Chick Corea and some Dave Holland. So you'll know the era of your Miles stuff. Yeah, it's a cool cover, but it just a little bit deceptive because it makes it look like some sort of funky 70s Miles, which it's not. But anyway, it's great to finally get some of that later 60s Miles on vinyl. All right, next up, this one was the big ticket item in the box that I paid the most for. But it was still well worth getting, and I'm sure it's going to be in great condition, which is Charles Kennard and Aphrodisiac. Now this one is great soul jazz on Prestige. Again, looks pretty good. There's just a little bit of a bump there, but that's not too heinous at all. Nice funky writing there. What's this, about 69 or 68, or maybe even might be hitting 70, but it's around that period. Great lineup. Look, Grant Green, Houston Person, Bernie Purdy. How great is that? So yep, there we go. So 1970, yep. So just at the end of the 60s there, and they had great sound for Prestige records around that time. So really looking forward to that. Great addition to the collection. I'm sure look fantastic inside. Next, this one was pretty new to me. I had to sort of look this up and play it when I saw it on there, and then found out something new. This is by a group called Rhythm Heritage, which I don't think it's even a real group as such. I think it's more of a studio project by some producers or something in the mid-70s. And it's called, the album's called Disco-fied. Now, yeah, it's sort of disco, but it's actually pretty funky, really more so. So much so that I paid for it. And I thought, I'll give this a crack. But they've actually apparently got a couple of albums. I think this is the first one, and apparently there's a track in my research that was actually a bit of a hit back in the day. I'm not sure which one it was, but I did do a bit of research on that. It might have been 3 Days of the Condor. But yeah, the rest is Actually quite funky, and I think it's mostly just studio musicians perhaps. And it was put together by I think one or two of them, but I've definitely heard of Dean Parks, and that's Ray Parker Jr., who was doing a lot of studio work at that time. You can see Ernie Watts' name. He was all over stuff. Got a bit of Lee Ritenour there. So, you know, it's a bit of a mix. Oh, is that you, Peps? Say hello. You can say hello? Nah, it's camera shy. Anyway, that's it for this time. Thanks for bearing with me. Funky cover though too. See you again. But yeah, so that's a nice little bit of a left of center kind of funky thing. All right, next, been after, well, kind of been after this one for a while because it usually goes for a lot. Again, this stuff always does, and even in Japan, this is one of these artists who nearly doesn't matter what they put out, is still high price everywhere, including Japan, which is Roy Ayers. And this is Roy Ayers' Ubiquity, Change Up the Groove, with a really colourful, awesome cover there. Illustration's really funky. I think this one's about 1975, which is an awesome year, if I do say so myself. I'm not sure if it's saying it in there somewhere. We'll find out, but yeah, it's around 1975. So classic era Roy Ayers, soul funky stuff with his idiosyncratic sort of sound at the time. Don't go blurry. Don't go blurry. Right, there we go. Thanks, Roy. Yeah, so again, I paid a bit for this, obviously, but not exorbitant. It looks again like it's in pretty stellar condition, this one. And I just can't remember this. Yeah, is it Japanese? You can see the Japanese text. So this is Japanese pressing, but it looks like, I can't remember, but I think it's an OG, and there's no barcodes or anything. So I think it's an OG Japanese press. All right, next I'm really excited about, because I love stuff by this guy, love stuff on this label, and I love stuff at this time. Similar to Charles Kennard, LPS showed. This is Mr. Johnny Hammond Smith and Soul Talk on Prestige, with a really striking cover there. Isn't that great? And also on top of that, we have awesome Rusty Bryant on there. Bob Bushnell turns up on a lot of stuff too. Bernard Purdy, I mean, say no more. So some nice funky soul jazz. I think this is 1969 from memory. We know Prestige. Look down here. Yep, there we go. So just before the other one, but the Kennard one, but very similar. But hey, just awesome to have this stuff. More Prestige stuff, and Johnny Hammond stuff pre-Mizell Brothers, obviously, by about 4 or 5 years. Pre-CTI, oh, sorry, Kudu, was he on? Kudu and Salvation, so Kudu, Salvation, CTI before that. Yeah, the pre-Mizell Brothers stuff on, was it Muse or Milestone, or might be Milestone. All right, but yeah, great cover. Love the cover too. Next, this one is pretty late in the piece by this artist, very accomplished guitar player. Again, it wasn't the cheapest record because of the name, but it's not one of his better known records or more famous records. But I love his stuff, and it's still good, and that is Grant Green, Playing Easy. So I think this one's about 1978. I'm pretty sure to this, I might be wrong, don't hold me to this, but there's something in the back of my head saying this was maybe his last album that he made. I may be incorrect. So let's have a look here. We've got Hank Crawford. He'll be on sax. Buster Williams there as well, which is nice to see. Look, he's doing a couple of Commodore's covers because it is it's a bit of a different album, but I've listened to it. It's quite nice, you know. It's nice, and being Grant Green, he's very accomplished. I just think it's got a bit more production-y stuff for I'm guessing 1978, and I can't see anywhere on the back that's giving me a clue. I do believe it is gatefold, so all the goodness will be in there. Alright, being that it's a gatefold, I thought I'd just take the time to pause and open it, because you've got to love it inside photo for a gatefold, especially an expansive one like that. Look at that. And sure enough, it's 1978. So yeah, it was on the right track there. But you could pretty much tell by the tracks that came out around that time anyway, the covers. But yeah, so that's even nice too. It's nice to get a bit of a bonus gatefold cover that looks like it's in spiffy condition. It's very spiffy. Alright, so I'll just carefully close that one. Just gotta be careful that the LP doesn't come out. I'll just crack on to the next one. Now, the next one, Spesh. I got a good price for this. Very happy because this usually goes for a lot. Also has a great cover. And that is by Wayne Shorter, Schizophrenia. Schizophrenia? Depends how you want to say it. Blue Note, obviously. Stereo. Yay. I like my stereo records. And who we got on this one? Some Usual Suspects indeed. With Herbie Hancock and Ron Carter being part of that Miles Davis quintet. No doubt. I think, yeah, around at that time. We've got Curtis Fuller as well, who I also really enjoy hearing. We've got James Spaulding as well, which is nice. And Joe Chambers. So some good names there. Let's have a look at the back. Yeah, look, it's a little bit colour, but hey, this is older too, so that's good. I think it is a Japanese press from my memory. I thought it was. Blue Note Records product limited. Okay, well, maybe it's not. Interesting. Maybe I got that wrong. Even better, I suppose. Now there is a date here. I think it's a bit wibbly wobbly there. What's that say? MCR XIX. Okay. So L is at 69. If my primary school Roman numerals knowledge comes into play. 69. Nice. So happy to have that finally. All right, now going into the 70s with a 70s funky soul. A little bit Philly sound here. Been after this one for a while. I think I did sort of settle on a non-gatefold though for this, just to get it at a really reasonable price. Again, this one usually goes for a fair bit. And that's the OJ's Backstabbers. Title track alone is a great song. It's on the Philly label, International, Philadelphia International. But I think this might be a Japanese copy. I'm pretty sure the OG has a gatefold. But hey, look, they're not my favorite band in the world. I do have, I think, 3 of the other ones around this early 70s era, and then I'll probably just stop. I think this is the last OJ's I will buy. What year is this? 73 or something like that. I'm going to guess. Or 72 or something. I can't even have a year. Well, anyway, it's around about there. No, I cannot see the year on here, but what is over here is, I think it does say, once it goes back, yeah, there it is. So CBS, Sony, Tokyo, Japan, as I said. So I won't crack it open, but it might have an insert. Quite possibly. I can't remember if it came with an insert or not. But anyway, yeah, that's some nice Philly soul stuff. Probably the last OJ's I will purchase, because that will get me satisfied enough. Now, next up, a man who I'm finding I'm getting more and more albums that are just creeping into my collection when I get them at good prices, because again, this guy's stuff usually goes for insane, crazy prices. This one, I tell you what, I got for like, I think it was like $10 plus post, which is crazy. And that's John Coltrane. This one called Black Pearls. I think it's a posthumous LP. I might be wrong. I think it is, because it's on Prestige, and I think it was one that they might have released later on from stuff from the vault. But nevertheless, it should be very pleasing. This stuff is usually really good value. Japanese pressing, which is probably why it was so cheap, inexpensive. But even if it's not his most known LP, you know, there's going to be value on there for sure. And I think this might be some late 50s stuff, from memory, probably around about 58 or something like that. And if you look at the lineup, yeah, we got Donald Byrd even on trumpet on here, and Red Garland. So that an Art Taylor, I think that signifies it's I think the late 50s, and Paul Chambers on bass there. But yeah, hey, the price was awesome. Stereo as well. Not sure if it's fake stereo, but we'll find out. But for the price, it was hard to pass that up. As I said, I'm pretty sure it was like 1,000 yen or whatever, like $10 Australian plus the post. So yeah, go figure. And lastly, in this bundleization, this one, I do have this on a 2 for CD that I got pretty dirt cheap, but hey, on vinyl. And this is by the Voices of East Harlem, and this is Can You Feel It? I think this may be the second album. I can't remember if they're, I think this is a self-titled one. I don't know if that's first or second one. This is early 70s. I think it's around about 73, maybe even 2. I might be wrong. Might be getting mixed up with the other one. Now they were sort of, well, they are, well, they were, you know, gospel influence sort of thing, and tinged. Oh, a bit of a bunger there on the corner, but no big drama. And they pretty much was a vocal, mostly like a vocal centered group. But I was just about to say that Leroy Hutson produced, I think, or yeah, it's even arranged. So Leroy Hutson from Curtin had a lot to do with this. And, oh, it's just some fine print down the bottom. Is it even gonna go in focus? Okay, so it's just showing this is like a 1994. It says 1994, but that's a reissue. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's like, yeah, 72, 73, possibly 74. But yeah, they're looking very happy. As I said, I think they're more like a vocal ensemble with, you know, funky sort of soul backing. But yeah, it's a nice album, you know. So I definitely can feel it, and hopefully get to feel it lots when I get to play it. Anyhow, it's now an empty box. So proof will be in the pudding there when I play it. Verdict is though, so far it was a bit touch and go with this order. The guy took a bit of prompting. he did come through. The stuff on the surface level looks, the condition, if I remember he said, it, you know, looks very impressive there. There were great prices, by the way. So hopefully the vinyl is as schmick, which, you know, I'm going to be very optimistic and say, yeah, of course it's going to be, and some nice Japanese pressings that have probably been extremely well looked after. Now, I don't normally do an addendum, but this I'm going to because I've actually had a bit of a preview of all of the albums, had a visual inspection, played a little bit of a sample on the turntable, just to check the quality. Most seem, you know, up to par, satisfactory. Probably just need a deep clean, except for this one, unfortunately. And this was actually, I think, the second one I pulled out to check. Lo and behold, though, I could see visually something wrong straight away, and that was edge warp. It looks like heat warp. It's like a heat sort of, I wouldn't say bubble, like a divot. I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up. If I put it down here, it's over here. You might be able to see there's some weird action happening with the light as it hits there. But surely when I pick this up, so I'm still going to do carefully, but you should be able to see if it focuses. Come on, focus. Well, it is, there's like a dip right about there. Yeah, the camera's probably not picking up the best. I'm trying to get it to contrast with that chair color. But anyway, there's a big, oh, there, you probably can see there. Yeah, right there. Goes up and down at the edge. Now I was sus about that straight away, thinking, oh no, that does not look good. Yeah, you can sort of see there's a dip there when the light hits. But anyway, so I thought, look, I'll risk it and, yeah, play a bit. And sure enough, as soon as that needle went on there, it was jumping around. Not good, and probably very destructive to the needle as well as the vinyl. It was not going to play at all properly. Once I checked all the other LPs, I contacted the seller, said all the good things about the packaging and stuff, and the other 9 LPs. I let him know about this one. I offered to even send him footage to prove it, so he knew I wasn't just trying to get my money back for no reason. Although this was actually the least expensive LP I bought. But the good news is he just refunded the money. Because I said, look, I'll work with him. What's his solution? But he just refunded me the money for this. So it doesn't fix the LP, and that is quite sad, because if you have a look, I mean, the rest of it, it's probably hard to see again in the light, but the rest of the LP is in, as he listed, near mint minus condition. I mean, this is a 1994 repress. You probably can see how shiny it is. There's like 0 scratches. Again, probably hard to pick up in the camera, except for that lovely dip. Well, opposite land. I don't know if it can be fixed. I might be able to flatten it, but look, at the end of the day, I at least got my money back swiftly. I'll give him that. He was very prompt. He didn't even ask to see the video. I'm just unfortunately down a really cool LP that potentially would have been fantastic. Anyway, that's it for this time. Thanks for bearing with me. See you again.